Frontera Rock.
And there was a point, I was too young to go down to the Cavern Club in Liverpool, where the Beatles played, but my brothers were old enough to go. So they used to bring back, the latest record and play it on our record player. That's when we had a thing called vinyl. It was a disc.
Yeah.
You put a needle on, it wasn't Spotify, it wasn't Apple Music, it was a disc. But I remember around about 1969, so I'd been listening to Merseybeat music, the 60s charts. And I remember around about 1969, my brother Michael bought in an album called Fleetwood Mac. And I don't know if, I suppose if you're a Fleetwood Mac fan and you know your cookies on Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac started as a blues band back in the UK about 1969.
Yeah.
So my brother Michael walked in with the Fleetwood Mac album, which was a blues, shuffly blues type thing. I'd never heard anything like that. So I'd only been 9 years of age, but I remember thinking, my ears pricked up and I thought, wow, that's a different sound. That's a real different sound. So I kind of started listening to Fleetwood Mac, blues era, Peter Green, when I was about 9 years of age. So up until then, I wanted to be Ringo Starr as a drummer. But as soon as I heard that album, I wanted to be Mick Fleetwood, which was really spooky. That's when I first became aware of Fleetwood Mac. The idea for Fleetwood Mac, Rumours of Fleetwood Mac, came, so I'm 65, 40. I was 40 years of age by the time I was thinking of Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. And the reason that I was thinking about Rumours of Fleetwood Mac is because I ended up as a bit of a session drummer back here in England, England. So a lot of American artists would come over in the 70s and the 80s, but they'd bring the artist and just the musical director. And because I could read music, I got quite a few gigs with international artists as a session player on tour. So I'd had a lifetime of that, certainly, behind other people. Some of them great. So, people like from America, people like the Drifters, the Platters, Benny King, people that had big hits. A lot of them were really respectful to their own legacy, but some of them weren't so good. So I remember thinking, if ever I was to we went to Las Vegas. That's what happened. We went to Las Vegas. I'm talking about 25 years ago. And they used to have shows in Las Vegas in lounges, and they were called, legends. So you'd see all these people paying homage to certain, Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. But
they were in a cabaret lounge, and not so good, to be honest, not so good. But some of them were great, but some of them were, wigs and everything, and it just didn't, because I'd been behind original artists. It didn't quite cut it for me. So I thought then, if ever I was to put a legacy show together, it'd have to be Fleetwood Mac. And the reason being, because within the one band, Fleetwood Mac, there were so many different genres of music. So, Beatles were Lennon, McCartney and George, but it was all kind of a Merseybeat sound to a point. And then obviously you had the great writing of each individual artist within the Beatles. Similar thing with Fleetwood Mac. If you think of Fleetwood Mac, you think of Christine McVie. So Christine McVie was one of the big songwriters for Mac. People don't realize, but some of the biggest hits were for Christine McVie. Then you had Lindsey Buckingham, who was kind of the heartbeat of Fleetwood Mac. He, from a creative and a production point of view, molded them into a sound. And so, Lindsey, as a writer, you could say he was on the edge of being an indie artist. really, edgy. And then you have Stevie Nicks, who's really a country rock artist.
Yeah.
And then you had, prior to the Buckingham Nicks era in Fleetwood Mac, you had the blues era of Peter Green. So many different genres of music that Rumours of Fleetwood Mac cover. So that's why I thought, what a great show it would be to cover all those different types of genres of music within the one band. And then I suppose I didn't think any more about it, watched the legacy shows, came home, and then I thought I'd need a name. What's the name of the show? And at the time, Fleetwood Mac were not back together. They were split up. And it was, I think it was Bill Clinton, the president of America, used Don't Stop as his campaign song 30 years ago. That brought them back together. So I was thinking, what would the name be? Because they weren't back together when I had the idea. And I thought, imagine it in the paper, Rumours of Fleetwood Mac tour. That would be a PR agent's dream.
So clever.
Yeah. So that's how the name came about, Rumours of Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
Because back then everyone was looking for, are they getting back together? Are they going to tour? Are they going to? So I had the name, and then it was a very famous record producer who was instrumental in bringing Cher back to a platform. So remember Sonny and Cher, and then Cher went by herself.
Yeah.
Do You Believe was the big hit that brought her back. Well, my pal Brian Rawlings produced that track.
Okay.
It was his birthday. His favourite band was Fleetwood Mac. So I thought, as a birthday bash for him, I'd assemble all the musicians and I'd go and do his birthday party as a surprise in London, which we did. So we rehearsed the stuff for a week. We went and played the gig, and it went down really, really well, and the band really played great, So I knew that if I assembled the right musicians, it could work, because this show, like I've just explained, has got many points of reference. Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks, Christine McVie, Peter Green, and then you have Mick Fleetwood and John McVie they're locked as the rhythm section in history. One of the best bass and drum players together.
Definitely.
So the party went really well, and then I thought, I left it a couple of years thinking, how would I do this? And I'd worked with enough promoters by then globally to whet their appetite, but I would have to go and prove that the show would work. So I promoted it for 10 years, took it on the road in the UK and Europe back then. And to my surprise, great surprise, the people came out because Fleetwood Mac again were off the road. So, it was the right time to do it. Nowadays, there's 10 billion trillion tribute bands to everybody. It's just nuts now. But, this show has never been a band. It's been a rock production.
Mm-hmm.
So you may see 7 musicians on stage. There's 22 people on tour with the crew. But also, we have a family of 18 musicians that we use on a rota.
Okay.
But they know exactly what's required when they step on stage, and they are big fans of Fleetwood Mac. And every artist on our stage is an original musician anyway, with their own albums and their own works, So it was a long way round, but the idea came from going into Las Vegas, seeing a legacy show, saying, that doesn't feel right to me. And then I thought, if ever I was to move from drummer to promoter and have a show, what would it be? And then it was like Rumours of Fleetwood Mac, great catalogue of songs, pick the right musicians and test it in theatre, straight into theatre. That was 25 years ago, so I'm still here all these years later, you know, and coming, of course, to see you guys in Mexico. So it's quite a privilege to be able to do it. Mick Fleetwood endorses the show globally. So he's played in the show a couple of times as well, Mick. He's been along to play in it.
Cool.
But, you know, it's great to have the blessing of the original artists doing this.
Yeah.
So, you know, you without, I'm not being disrespectful, but you won't see us in a bar or a club or a tribute venue. You'll see us in a major venue. In America, we play to anything from 2,000 to 5,000 people a night. So, you know, it's sometimes we have to pinch ourselves and go, you know, because I'm counting in all these songs: Dreams, Rhiannon, The Chain, you know, Make Love and Fun, Everywhere, Little Lies. It's, you know, it's a great privilege to be able to do it, Ricardo.
Yeah, and Show Center Complex here in Monterrey, it's a great venue. It's a professional venue. So
Yeah.
you're gonna be in the right place here in Monterrey. Allan, in recent years, many legendary bands have stopped touring or are saying their goodbyes, or some of the members passed away. In this sense, do you feel that the tribute bands like yours become guardians of the legacy of these great artists, helping to keep their music alive for new generations?
Yeah, definitely, Ricardo. Our audience base globally goes from 14 years of age to 70 years of age. And I believe there's a reason for that. Certainly because of their music. You know, our touring slogan, and it's on the tour buses as you get off of a morning, it's about their music.
Okay.
We are the conduit, it's their legacy, and we are the custodians of their legacy. So when we produce the show, it's not about our versions of their legacy. We play it note for note, which may sound, from a creative point of view, from a musician's point of view, a little bit sterile, but it's not. They've laid down their legacy. It's our duty to deliver that to you, or a Fleetwood Mac fan, in total respect of their authorships, of the way they recorded those songs. So once we've learned the song, it's in your DNA. You don't think about it, you just play it. But certainly any drum fill that I do, it's not a Cos drum fill, it's a Mick Fleetwood drum fill.
Okay.
And with each member, you know, on that plane, all doing the same thing, we deliver. It's just like putting the needle on the track and listening to the track. So there's two sides to that. We've got to deliver that, the arrangements, the sounds. So we have something like 32 guitars on tour with us.
Okay.
So if it was a 1958 Gibson Les Paul, that's what we've got and that's what we use.
Okay.
So, you know, even the sound of everything. So even if it's an 80s track, then, you know, if you know anything about 80s production, it was all big reverb snare drums. Yeah. We have to build all the sonics into our show so that when we perform the track, it's just like you put your headphones on and you put your album on. So an awful lot of detail is covered. And we feel duty bound to do that as the custodians, because I think if I said to you, think of the track Dreams, yeah, or think of the track Sarah by Fleetwood Mac, yeah, you'll have a memory attached to those songs. Yeah. It could have been the first girlfriend that you had, can I take you out? It could have been anything. It could have been a new baby. It could have been anything. People have precious memories linked to the songs. So we can't go on stage for 2.5 hours and play our versions of those songs. There's no need to do that. There's, you know, no one's putting a wig on. I'm 5'10". I'm not 6'5". I don't put high heel shoes on and a stick-on ponytail. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's just some world-class musicians on the show paying homage to their respective musician, you know, in Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, you're right. These shows are holding up, you know, bands that have now disbanded or are no longer. It's still holding their legacy up. Fleetwood Mac, just to make it clear, Fleetwood Mac don't need Rumours of Fleetwood Mac to hold their legacy up. But the audience base do. Their fan base does, because they can't see them anymore. So that's where we feel duty bound to come to it totally respectful, with humility, and play it just like they would want to hear it, you know. The only thing about this is, if you go and watch Fleetwood Mac, or if you've ever watched Fleetwood Mac, and they've had a bit of a rough night, you are forgiving because it's Fleetwood Mac. We can't have a rough night. We've got to hit it right every night, you know. Because if we're saying to the audience, this is the world's best snapshot, or hopefully we endeavour to make it the best snapshot of Fleetwood Mac, then it better have be, you know. So we've got Mick. Mick always gives us a video introduction before we start the show.
Okay.
So he'll say hello to everybody. And I think this year, his last words are safe in the hands of Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. Well, that certainly focuses you up to like, well, we better do it now, you know. So it's great to have the blessing of the band. And it's also, yeah, I totally agree. If you're doing this thing respectfully, this legacy thing, yeah, it's about holding the material up to the fan base.
Yeah, you're totally right, Allan, because we're never gonna see Queen again. So somebody had to, or the Beatles or whatever, and you need something. You need a band, a professional group of musicians do that, and you are a professional and passionate musicians to bring us to the music of Fleetwood Mac. That's great.
Yeah. And you know, you can't take your eye off the ball. We have a musical director within the band.
Cool.
We record it every night. We listen back and we go, and the musical director might say to me, "You've crashed the cymbal too many times on that song." And you go, can you pull the cymbals crashes in, because they aren't there? And it's like, oh, but you know, tonight will be show 122 this year across the world. So sometimes you're on it and you get a little bit overexcited, and I might crash a bit much, or the guitarist may, you know, play a shape of the lead to Don't Stop the other way round for 2 seconds. Well, the MD comes in and goes, you know, get back to the original, which is fine. I mean, I'm the founder. My door is always open, and I've told them, come and tell me if I'm going astray, because you know, the hardest thing with these shows, Ricardo, isn't the playing, it's the consistency of the playing. Yeah. So it's like you know, you've got to keep an eye, quality control. That's what it is, because the first show this year had to be as great as our last show with you guys. You know, we owe that to the legacy and to the fan base. So you know, so we're very mindful of that, because there's no way we'd be coming to Mexico if it wasn't for you guys and the Fleetwood Mac fan base supporting us. You know, I tell you what's been really helpful to us is YouTube, to be honest. Our YouTube channel now has 150 million views globally, and that's helped some of our producers and promote. You know, we have we don't have agents. We self promote globally, But that's helped our producer and our promoter look at the statistics of YouTube. For instance, in Lima, we had 2 million views in Lima alone. So we thought, let's go to Lima.
Yeah.
It's a big risk, but the Opera House in Lima, 2 nights sold out 2,000 people a night. So,
wow.
It's starting to help us see where we can go to now. Mexico's been calling for years, really. Can you come? Can you come? Can you come? We can only come because, like I say, a lot of people think that we're in a van. You think we're in a van with some gear? There's 2 tour buses and 2 60-foot Arctics outside here. So, we're getting across to Mexico because we kind of finish in Fort Lauderdale and then we're going to take a flight in,
Okay.
So, it's slowly but surely we're getting to places that we haven't been able to reach so far, So it's extraordinary, really. And everywhere we go, touch wood, up to now, the response is great, it's crazy.
Yeah, Monterrey, it's in the north of Mexico, and we have a lot of rock music culture here, and we avid to see you next November 12th. Allan, what can fans expect from November concert here in Monterrey? Will there be any special surprises in the set list or production?
Yeah, we hate giving the set list away, so
No.
We want it to be a surprise. But
Yeah.
Again, this is the ethos of doing what we do. We're not going to be clever. We don't try and get clever about this and play some obscure track from an album that didn't quite make it.
Okay.
And especially when we go into new territory, we call it, it's like a bank raid set. Maybe that's the wrong terminology, but it's a bank raid set of Fleetwood Mac, so that you would know every track. But we always leave 2 slots where we try and introduce the fan to something that they may have missed.
Okay.
So for instance, I can give this one away. There's a great track called Silver Springs, right?
Okay.
So it's a Stevie composition, and it should have made the Rumours album. Silver Springs, the track, should have been on the Rumours album.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, because of runtime on vinyl, they couldn't get the track on.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a big fallout and a big punch up because this song didn't make it. But later on in the careers, in the Fleetwood Mac legacy, it became a spiritual track that they always played on tour. So we will introduce that, we will play that to you guys, just so that, it could be something that you haven't heard before. Have you heard it before, Ricardo, Silver Springs?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, well, go and check it out. And ask you, or play it on your show.
Okay.
And that's the history of that track. The runtime on the album wouldn't allow, on the vinyl, they couldn't get it on.
Okay.
There was a big argument about it because there was, I think they put secondhand news on instead of it. It was something like, but this song absolutely became one of Stevie's spiritual tracks, like Landslide,
Okay.
and like Songbird for Christine McVie.
Okay.
So Silver Springs is in the set, and then also we dip into the Stevie Nicks catalogue, just her catalogue.
Okay.
And we do a great cover of one of her big hits. I'm not going to tell you what that is.
No. That's good. With that, it's so good.
Yeah, and then we also have. So the first set is really. We open up with Gypsy. That's all I'll tell you. We open up with Gypsy.
Okay.
And that is it. So we're back to the velvet carpet on the ground. And that just proves that, hopefully, that proves to the audience we're in for a good night, because we've got to hit that first track and convince you that we kind of know, or we're endeavoring to give it our best shot. So usually when Gypsy's gone by, people go, wow, you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then the other little things we've got are features. So we do 2 songs, 2 acoustic songs, 2 acoustic versions of the songs.
Okay.
And that's just 2 artists together.
Right.
That's a feature. Just to give it a different flavor. It's still an arrangement of what has been played by Fleetwood Mac live.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not our arrangements again. It's something that we've pulled out of their live catalogue, you know. So yeah, nothing clever. 2 hours 20 minutes, 2 hours 30 minutes of Fleetwood Mac, covering the whole spectrum. We even put a bit of Peter Green blues in there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's great, Allan, and I appreciate this description of the show. We know you have to keep something for the secret and to the surprise the people. But you say Gypsy it's like the first tip of a good wine, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You say, this is a good wine.
Yeah, and we don't want them to spit it out.
No, you're the first good spit of the good wine, and I know you're a good wine. You're a good musicians. You're very good musicians, and I'm pretty sure that you're gonna make a hell of a show here in Monterrey. So, if people in Mexico, maybe some of the audience, they're gonna know that you exist, or gonna know the first time in your show. Well, it's gonna be the first time in your show, but if one of our audience here in this show wanted to follow or wanted to reproduce your music, where they can go?
So really, the hub of Rumours of Fleetwood Mac is the website. Yeah? Okay. We are on all the social platforms, but if you go to the website, there are links to, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the usual things. So, but the 2 main places to check us out would be Rumours of Fleetwood Mac official. Okay. In YouTube, Rumours of Fleetwood Mac in YouTube, and also www.rumoursoffleetwoodmac.com. Everything is there. Videos, studio footage of us in the studio, live concert footage. So if it's the same old thing really. If you go to the website, that will lead you off to everywhere else, and you can message us. You can send messages to us there,
and they answer. I'm a pro of they answer. They answer the messages.
Yeah. There you go.
So you're so very reachable. That's good because this connection with the audience. It's very good. Allan, do you bring with you some merch, some shirts or hoodies or something like that?
I think because this is our first date and we're not bringing all the trucks down to Mexico because that would take forever.
Yeah.
So I think this time possibly minimal, just t-shirts and just bits and pieces, not the full. I mean, we have a stand set up out here today.
Okay.
But there's a hell of a lot of people coming tonight, but we're on tour in America and that's all in the trucks.
Yeah.
We'll be flying in to do this gig, so we'll be traveling a little bit light, to be honest.
The
website will be open next year with all the new merchandise in it.
Okay, and you have an international. I mean, you can buy something and get in Mexico. Okay.
Just ship off, yeah.
Okay.
Just be shipped off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know you have your time. You need to rehearsal. I heard you when you say about the record every night and listen. I think in a football players or baseball player, whatever, that they saw the videos of the play of the game and performs and try to improve.
Yeah.
So that's talk about professionalism. So we appreciate that. Really, really appreciate it as a band fan base.
Yeah, but but without you guys, we wouldn't be going anywhere. So, it's their fan base that are coming to check us out, and hopefully, if we build, if we build a load of love in the room that night and people enjoy it, then people of Mexico will go out of the theatre or the venue and they'll tell other people about us. And then next time we come back to Mexico, we could be coming back to do a tour, a proper tour,
Okay.
So this is really important to us to come in and say hi to everyone and let them see what we're trying to do,
Do you hear some meet and greets or something like that, Alan?
I think we do meet and greets here. I'm not sure. I'd have to speak to my tour manager about the meet and greet. But I think at the end of the show, we always come out and we sign posters and whatever it is and say hello and thank you to everybody. That's as important as you buying a ticket. It's to us. We've got to go and thank people for coming to see us.
Great.
So.
Great. Allan, thank you so much for the time, for bringing such a passionate tribute to one of the most beloved bands in the rock history. We see you this November 12th in Monterrey with Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. There's a rumors and there's a confirmation that you're going to be here.
There is. And we shall have a beer together somewhere, me and you.
Yeah, I would love to say hello in person. So maybe
definitely come and see. Let's have a meet up and a hug. Thanks very much for the plug, Ricardo, and it's been lovely to speak to you and your and your audience as well.
Thank you, Allan. Let me just say goodbye to my audience in Spanish and finish the record. Amigos de Frontera Rock, muchísimas gracias por habernos escuchado el día de hoy. Estuvimos con Allan Cosgrove, uno de los grandes músicos de este proyecto de Rumours of Fleetwood Mac. Le agradecemos mucho a él y les agradecemos a ustedes también. Se quedan con más música de Rumours of Fleetwood Mac y pues nos vemos y nos escuchamos el próximo lunes. Gracias, buenas noches.
Gracias.
Frontera Rock.